As you know, Louisville is nicknamed the Derby City for a reason. In downtown Lexington, a major city connector is called Oliver Lewis Way. Who's that? You're getting ready to find out. The history of horse racing in our state runs deep. Major and early winning jockeys were African American, although they are often overlooked. But as Kristen Pierce shows us, a local exhibit is making sure they're not forgotten.
The history of black jockeys stretches across these walls in the Kentucky Derby Museum. It reflects the history of black heritage in racing.
It's a really important exhibit for us.
Through photos, artifacts,
It's a lot of important stories.
and information dating back to the 1800s when African Americans dominated the Kentucky Derby.
The enslaved that were on a lot of the southern plantations were taking care of the horses. In all ways, that includes riding the horses as jockeys.
In 1875, for the first running of the Derby, 13 of the 15 jockeys were black, including the winner, Oliver Lewis. Black jockeys went on to win 15 of the first 28 Run for the Roses. But things changed.
You're talking about racing in the South, and you're talking about the institution of slavery.
Black men went from grabbing the silk purse at the finish line to not being able to mount at the starting gate.
Organizations will either make it very difficult for African American jockeys to get licenses, or sometimes will not give licenses to African American jockeys at all.
And if they were able to ride, there was another issue.
On the racetrack, a lot of the white jockeys would use physical intimidation tactics against African Americans.
On a race course outside Chicago, Jimmy Winkfield's white counterparts rode him against the rail. It's called rough riding, and it can hurt the rider and the horse. Racism changed the narrative of the Derby for more than a century. Even now, 147 years since the first Derby, there are not a lot of black jockeys in the sport, and one hasn't crossed the finish line first since 1902. It's a part of history this exhibit hopes to keep alive. So whether it's through small photos or large portraits, the history of black jockeys is captured here.
The Black Heritage and Racing exhibit is a permanent exhibit at the Kentucky Derby Museum here in Louisville. The museum is open 7 days a week.